Good morning and welcome back. Been a long time since I did one of these. This week we're going to do Ballet, which I forgot to put up. There you go. And this is what we're going to try and recreate. As you can see, nice dark room, light coming through the sunlight, all made in Photoshop. So let's get rid of that. And we're going to get the first image, which of course is a hole. And the first thing we're going to do is get rid of these windows because we want it nice and dark for the light beams coming through. So we're going to do that by getting a lasso tool. I'm going to start over here. I'm going to lasso this one. I'm going to put my finger on shift, which will put a little plus beside the lasso, and that will allow us to make a second selection. And even a third selection. So once we've got these windows, we'll then go to Edit, Fill, make sure you're on Content Aware, and say OK, and just let the computer do its shop magic. And here you go. A plus, I couldn't have done any better. Right, so now we're going to import this photograph into a main document. So we're going to drag it down, grab the layer, drag it in. Go ahead and get rid of the original now. And we can resize this one. So I think we need less flooring in, less roof. And we drag it right across. Just get rid of that window. Yep, that's pretty good. Touch up. There you go. Bit room for the ballerina. Right, so that's okay. But of course, it's much too late because we want to show light beams. So we're going to go down the bottom and we're going to select brightness and contrast. We're going to attach it to the layer by alt-clicking between it, and then we're going to just grab the brightness and drag it all the way down. So now we've got somewhere we can bring sunbeams down from. But before we do that, we have to do the ballerina. So let's get her moving, and there she is there. Right, you just take your quick selection tool and select that, or you can grab a selection tool and just hit select subject. Now it will not get out precisely, I can tell you that straight away because of these transparency bits here and the bits between our fingers. They are always a problem. So I'll just start at the top, go up to the fingers. I've got that. Just make sure we've got the fingers in. There's another one. And a bit of thumb. Right, and the easiest way to do these bits in between is actually just take them away with polygonal lasso tool. So what you do is you have the polygonal. If you put your finger on Alt, a little minus comes up beside it. And what you can do is just take them away. This is going to take a little bit of time, but the better that you get it, the better it is. So take your time, do these things properly. Come down, back to this quick selection tool, and just bring that in. Put your finger on Alt, and we're going to take it with it behind our neck. That's looking okay. All the way down to the frills, which is obviously not going to be okay. Yeah, you see, big problem frills. Well, I'm going to get these things right, so I'm going to resort back to the polygonal tool, and if I start somewhere there, I need to see it. All right. And all the frills as you go along. There you go. This is not like I've missed any bits. Down and up here. Okay. So that's looking okay now. Now I'm not going to put any transparency on the frills. See this transparency here. Now normally what you could do is select that transparency out with the polygonal tool and then just do a say on 50% eraser, and that'll give you 50% transparency to the colour underneath. But in this case we want to have sunbeams falling on that which would highlight them. So I'm going to leave them there. I think they'll look alright. If not, we're going to always come back and take it and do a bit of a raise on the frills. Right, so now we'll go to second mask, and we're going to feather by one. We're going to shift the edge to about -12, which is just cut into it a bit so there's no little halo around it. I'll decontaminate the colours, and we'll see okay. And there she is there. So now we can pull her down, grab the layer we want, drag her in, get rid of the original. Now we're going to resize the ballerina She wants to be standing about there, and that would be about right, I think. Something like that would make that right. So we'll stand that right in the light. Yeah. Touch some more. There you go. Just make that look like she's in the room, right? Right, again, she's looking okay, so I'm going to select the mask, which came with her cutout, right hand click it, and apply the layer mask. So now we've just got the one. I'm going to make a copy of that for later on. I'm just going to turn it off, just because it's going to be the shadow. Right, so she is just much too light to be in this room. So again, go down the bottom, pick brightness and contrast, attach it to her. I alt click in between them, and then just grab the brightness and turn it off. Right over. Right, now what we need is sunbeams coming down. There's various ways of doing this. You can actually just use your polygonal tool and make beams, and then gradient fill them with white or transparent. You can actually get brushes now, which you'll do like beams, but I'm going to go old school. It's a complicated way of doing it, but it actually makes sense. So, first thing I'm going to do is put another layer on. Then I'm going to select gradient. I want to see if I can remember how to do this. So we'll click the gradient, and that brings up the gradient editor. And what I want is two opposite colours, which are opposite on the colour wheel. So I'm going to pick the black one and click in there, and I'm going to pick red. So now we've got red, the transparent. So I'm going to pick the opposite colour, and the opposite colour to red is green. So I'm going to pick a green and a fairly dark one. Okay, now you notice it's green, but it doesn't seem to be. It's because this is the transparency up the top. And if you click that, you'll see it's 0 opacity. So if we turn that up to 100, we'll now get red to green. And I'm going to change it from a solid to noise, which will give lines. And I'm going to change the red, green, blue here to be HSB, which is highlight, saturation, and brightness. So I can take the saturation and take it right off the end, and we just get black and white. Now if we hit randomize, we'll just get there. Oh, that looks a good one. To be sunbeams. So we'll say OK to that. Back in the gradient fill now, if we go from linear to angle, it'll give us that. Now we'll say OK to that. I can come back to the layer here, then we'll change the blending mode to be screen. And that's what we've got now. So if I double click this, well, what I want to do is move this center to be over the top where the light comes in, but you can't. What you have to do is double click it so that the gradient fill comes up, then you can actually grab a hold of the center of it and drag it around. So I'm going to drag it up to here somewhere. Yeah, about there, say. Now we see we've got, actually, well, it looks too light now, so what we're going to do is go back again to here, and then I'm going to randomize again. When I get something that, that looks good. Right, we'll keep that one. Now notice you've got a layer mask attached to it, So we'll take the layer mask, get a black brush at 100%. We can obviously take away the light behind the window, the skylight. This will be coming down like that. So we can take that away. Should take all that away. Yep, like that. And this one looks like it should be coming down there. And again, just take away all the sunlight from that bit. Now we'll make our brush very big and just do a few bits of clicking around the edge. We're going to have it blended in much better. Like that. Now we're still not looking right. I need a drink because I can't talk anymore. It's still not looking right. What we need to do is get the beams looking a bit better. So if we go down the bottom, get the levels, and then attach it to the beam by alt-clicking between them, we can now see there's the blacks. If I turn the blacks up, we're getting some of the whiteness taken away from in between them. We can increase the whiteness for the white one, but the one that really changes it is the midtones. If you go to the left, the beams get brighter and thicker. If you go to the right, they start to ease out and look like sunlight. So something like that, see it for now. Right, next thing to do, we need them off this beam. So we'll go back into the layer mask of the beams. Get your polygonal tool. And just select the wooden beam as opposed to the light beam. Then grab your brush and just run it over the selected part. Now it's looking three-dimensional. The beams are looking behind the wooden beam. And we should add in some dust at this point, I think. So we have a dust brush. Dust, there you go. And I'm going to take the second one, I think. Yeah, that looks good. Make sure you're on white. Now I'm going to do two layers here. I'm going to do big dust and small dust. So we're going to start with the big dust. Just increasing this thing. Remember, it's only going to be in the light beam, so we're there. Just click. And we've done it in black. Step that one. Make sure you're in white. Click. And there you go. Dust. Now we're going to go to the second layer, the upper layer, and we're going to make it smaller because we want smaller bits in. And we want them that size, so I'll just click there and click there. Now we'll do exactly the same with these as we did with the light beams. We're going to put a layer mask on both the dust layers. I'm going to select the big layer first, black at 100%, and of course the dust will only ever show in the light beam, so take away all the dust. It's not in the light beam. Dear God, I'm making mistakes after mistakes again. Make sure you're in the layer mask. Get the dust away. Now go to the small dust. Do it again. The dust will obviously not show up on the beam. And as a quick method, we'll just select both by alt-clicking. I have the two of them, and we'll just get the opacity and turn it down. Just until it just shows, because that's all you need. Just a little hint of what it's there. Right, so that's looking good, except of course these light beams are coming down. She needs to have a shadow. Remember the one I made previously, this one. I'm going to turn it off, the ballerina. I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to select it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to Image, Adjustment, Hue and Saturation, and I'm going to pick Lightness and just turn it off. That is now black. I'm going to turn the ballerina off. There you go. See, it's black. So now we need to turn it around, because it will be on the floor. And it will be thinner. Sure. So it'll end up something about there. Except of course the feet aren't matching up. Oh, they will want it, I think. Right. Of course the feet aren't matching up. So what we'll do is go to Edit, Bubble Warp. I don't want these bits to move. I'll take this one, put it into that one. Straighten that up. Put a marker on that one and drag that around. See, okay. And there it is. So now we're going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and too much of that. About 15-ish. Okay, and reduce the opacity. Usually about 50 with these things, but of course there's a bit bright light, so 65 seems about right. So not looking too bad, is it? I think we're going to increase the contrast and things, so we'll go back to the top, go down the bottom, and we'll pick gradient map. Make sure it's on black to white. Change the mode, the color mode, to soft light. You get a massive increase in the contrast. And what you do is you just grab the opacity and drag it down until it looks the way you want it to be. See, there's a bit off. It is on. We'll drag it down to about 40-ish. Yep. Now we can do your final adjustments. So the light beams, there's the light beams there. I think we could go to the levels of the light beam. If I bring up the weights, it'll increase them. Don't want to increase them too much. I want. Yeah, not bad, is it? Something very good, that. Yeah, that's even. I'll just turn that shadow down a touch. Yep, that did end up with 50 anyway. And I think to finish it off, we'll put another layer on, and we'll grab a black brush. This time we'll knock it down to 20%. We'll make it smaller, make a big brush, and I'm just going to put a vignette on it. So I'm just going to click at the top, drag it around the corners, and I'm going to click again and put another 20% on. And if I click that on and off, yep, see, that looks much better. Right. And I think, as an afterthought, we should add another layer on. We'll fill it with black, and we'll change it to screen, because then I want to go up to filter, render, lens flare. I'm going to render 50 to 300 zoom lens flare. It's going to be around about this, I think. Oh, that wasn't too far, was it? Right. So what we're going to do is just increase the size of this thing. We'll get up where we want it. It should be in that top corner, I think. Just about there. No, I'm not too happy about these bits, but this is a black area here. It's on screen, so if I just get a black brush, put it up to 100%, and I just remove them. Maybe that's a bit too bright, so we'll just turn the opacity down a bit. So you're at 84%, 85%. And there you go, look. That's how we do a ballerina. I still think them light beams are a bit too much. Yeah. Yeah, that's better, isn't it? Take the light beams down and brings much of the red through on the ballerina. You see what I meant about them? The frills? It just looks like this, the sun's hitting them and highlighting them. So we didn't need to make them transparent anyway. Anyway, thanks for listening. The original files to this can be found on the South Shields Digital Group website. There's a link to that in the header of this channel, or even in the description of this particular tutorial. Hey, thanks for listening, and goodbye.